Welcome to Equal Entertainment. I'm Tracy E. Gilchrist. The holiday season is here, and country music artist Bryan Ruby is helping us get in the spirit with some new music. But Ruby's career did not begin on the stage, rather, it began on a baseball diamond as a queer athlete. Ruby resides at the intersections of America's pastimes in country music and baseball, but he's shifting the paradigm as an openly queer athlete and artist. Ruby is doing this through his songwriting and his organization, Proud to Be in Baseball. There, he advocates for queer people in the sport and builds up the next generation of players. Bryan Ruby loves to play on words. His debut EP, Diamonds Are Forever, is his life story of growing up playing baseball, but it's also about where he's going, and there's also new holiday music for fans. Hi, welcome, Bryan Ruby, country singer and baseball player. I love that combination. Thank you for being here with me today.
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Well, Bryan, I want to begin for those who are not familiar with your background. I think these kind of intersections of your passions and your jobs are really fascinating. And would you share a little bit of background about who you are for folks?
Yeah, Bryan Ruby, live in Nashville, Tennessee. That's where we are today. You can see my wall of baseball hats behind me. Played 5 years of pro baseball, and now I'm a country music singer, out and proud. I'm
Yeah.
wearing our shirt for our charity today. We are proud to be in baseball. We're a charity that supports young LGBTQ kids who play baseball. So I wear different hats, so to speak, but uh, do a lot of stuff in the queer world, sports world, and music world.
Yeah, I love that. Well, thank you. And so you have a new EP out, Diamonds Are Forever. Would you talk a little bit about the inspiration for these songs and the title, which I'm is a double entendre, I imagine.
Yeah, it's double
Mhm.
entendre for sure. I love doing that where I write something and it sort of you think it's going to be about one thing, you think, and then it's about something else. And a lot of my songs may have a baseball related title. I have a song called Left Field as well,
Yeah.
but
Yep.
really they're about life. And these songs are the stories of me finding myself and gaining confidence in who I am and coming out and realizing that it's okay, to to live life the way I want to live my life. And
Mm.
if I can sing that, at first I played that. I played out and proud authentically in baseball and was proud to have kept my job and
Mm.
got to be an out queer athlete, and now I get to be an out queer country singer. And really the songs are about life. And um, it's 6 songs and just the beginning of my music chapter. And I can't wait for everybody to hear what we have coming next.
Incredible. I love that you're bringing your two loves together, baseball and singing. And I also love you did this with a cover recently of a John Fogerty song, which was a huge hit in the '80s, Center Field. And
Yeah.
would you talk a bit about kind of what that song meant to you when you were a kid growing up?
Yeah, I mean, it was a song that we would hear at the ballpark every day. It's like a ballpark staple, and it is like the baseball song. And no one's ever really done a primary cover version of it. And the message of like "put me in, coach, I'm ready to play" is
Yeah.
universal. And I thought it was even more powerful that I was the one who said that as a queer athlete.
Mhm.
And just saying, "Hey, we want to play too," And we kind of timed it around me finishing up playing baseball, and it was a really cool moment. And I got a message from John Fogerty himself, who seemed to like it, which was that was cool. So yeah, he was. I was in New York for the U.S. Open Pride event when John messaged me, so that was a huge surprise and really really cool.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I love that you're kind of able to layer your story into this song that was the fabric of a lot of people's lives back in the day. I think that's a really beautiful uh, thing that you were able to accomplish.
Yeah, at the
Mhm.
end of the day, like it's country music is 3 chords and the truth.
Mm.
So we want to be able to sing our truths too. I'm in the country music community. I'm entrenched in the community here in Nashville. I write songs for a living now.
Mm.
Have written about 25 country songs that have got recorded by different artists here in Nashville, and we want to have a place too. There
Yeah.
are tons and tons of young, talented LGBTQ plus songwriters and artists that maybe the general public doesn't know about yet, or certain segments of the population are just starting to find out about the this up and coming crew of people that we have here in Tennessee. But you know, queer people can live anywhere, and we want to show that right here in Nashville, in the heart of Music City, is a place where people like us can be comfortable and stake a claim and like find our place.
I don't think it is an exaggeration to say that because of you being out and proud in two professions that are not always welcoming, especially to queer men, um, I think you've probably paved the way for some others to come up behind you. And would you talk a bit about what that means to you to know that just by living your true self, you've maybe helped some others?
Yeah, I don't think I'm the first gay guy to play baseball, and I know I'm not the first gay guy to play baseball, but
Yeah.
what I say is I definitely won't be the last.
Yeah.
We are trying to just show that it's okay to be who you are, and love who you are and do whatever you want to do, whether that's baseball or country music. And I always try to lead with the body of work first. So first, playing baseball, it was lead with playing the best I could possibly play,
Mhm.
and and prove it on the field, and hope that my teammates would accept me, and they did, which was really cool and something that I wish younger me could have seen. And now with
Mhm.
music, I try to do the same thing. I try to just lead with good songwriting, and you want people to fall in love with the songs first,
Yeah.
and then once maybe they then they realize your backstory. It's an extra point of pride, that they that and I think the coolest part for me is, and I'm again nowhere near the only out LGBTQ person in country music. There's a crew of us
Yeah.
that we're small but mighty,
Mhm.
in here in Nashville and in other places.
Yeah.
But we want to show that those younger versions of ourselves, that it's possible, and like it's a different world now, and
Mhm.
I'm just trying to hand the baton off like I did in baseball to a couple other athletes,
Yeah.
and there have been some older country singers like Ty Herndon,
Mm.
who's
Mhm.
an out queer trailblazer, who
Yeah.
is handing the baton off to younger generations of us as well. And it's a group thing, and nobody should have to shoulder the burden like I felt for so long, like I was the only
Yeah.
one like me in baseball. And um, it's the same goes for music. And part of what we do with this, and I always wear the shirt on
Yeah.
interviews, is just to try to publicize this with proud to be in baseball. I got to stand up here. is
I love it.
is an out uh, community of people like me in my sport, and a nonprofit that supports younger athletes like me, that I
Mm.
founded. So it's amazing to still be fighting the fight every day, but I know we're making progress, and it feels good to help that younger version of myself.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much for that answer. And before we go, I have to be sure that I touch on your new Christmas song, It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah,
It's beautiful, and I love that it calls out to that classic movie.
yeah.
Would you talk a little bit about the story in that, and also what it means to you to just share your love of Christmas and the holidays?
Yeah. I mean, I'm on the road so much. Like, first it was in sports, now it's in music. I played over 100 gigs this year and have traveled all over the place. So finally, we wrote this while I was on the road, and I was just looking forward to getting home for the holidays. And
When I was listening to it and I'm thinking about you and your background, and I'm like, especially when you're singing, about someone else, or your other Christmas song about missing someone, I love kind of picturing like, here's this guy with this really beautiful, deep voice singing to, I'm in my head, another man, and I feel like that's just such a rare and beautiful thing to hear, and especially in a holiday song.
yeah, it's written from personal experience, country music, three chords and the truth. And
I love it.
it's all real for me, and I for me there's no other way.
You can watch the Advocate channel live by downloading our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. For the Advocate channel, I'm Tracy E. Gilchrist, and thank you for watching.